Dark psychology isn't theory, it's history. Again and again, the same patterns of control, fear, and obedience surface in real-world events. From prisons and cults to stadiums and dictatorships, the line between ordinary people and unthinkable acts is thinner than we want to believe. This video explores how experiments in psychology don't just stay in laboratories, they repeat in society with devastating consequences. Each chapter reveals a true story, where the hidden forces of the human mind shaped reality and where human nature turned dark. Chapter 1: The Stanford Prison. Echo, Abu Ghraib. They weren't psychopaths, they were normal soldiers. Yet they tortured prisoners for fun and smiled for the camera. This was Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq. Guards stripped men naked, chained them, forced them into humiliating positions. Why? Psychology already warned us. In the Stanford Prison experiment, volunteers given the role of guards quickly turned sadistic. The uniform became a mask. The role became the identity. When authority whispers, "This is your job," empathy evaporates. The truth is disturbing. Cruelty doesn't require monsters. It only requires ordinary people obeying the role they're given. Chapter 2: Mass Hysteria, from Salem to QAnon. Entire towns once executed their neighbors for witchcraft. Today, people destroy lives over hashtags. In Salem, 1692, a handful of girls cried witch, and within months, dozens were hanged. The logic didn't matter. Fear had spread too far. Now, centuries later, conspiracy cults like QAnon fuel the same hysteria. Innocent strangers are branded villains, and digital mobs form overnight. Psychologists call it mass hysteria, when belief spreads faster than truth. Once a crowd decides someone is guilty, evidence doesn't matter. And the darkest part? Everyone inside the hysteria believes they are the rational ones. Chapter 3: Just Following Orders, Milgram and the Nazis. You would electrocute a stranger to death if someone in authority tells you to. In the 1960s, psychologist Stanley Milgram ran an experiment. Participants thought they were shocking someone with up to 450 volts. Most pressed the button, even when the victim screamed. Why? Because a man in a lab coat told them to continue. This explains how Nazi officers defended themselves. I was just following orders. The dark truth is obedience feels safe. It feels moral. But blind obedience is the deadliest weapon authority can wield. Chapter 4: The Kool-Aid Cult, Jonestown, and Beyond. Over 900 people lined up to drink poison and begged for more. In 1978, cult leader Jim Jones ordered his followers to drink the flavor aid. Entire families collapsed within minutes. They weren't tricked. They believed it was salvation. How? Through the cult blueprint: love bombing, isolation, total control. Doubt was punished, and escape was impossible. When your world shrinks to one leader's voice, belief becomes survival. The chilling truth is this blueprint didn't die in the jungle. From NextIVM to online cults, it's still active, still hunting new followers. Chapter 5: The Stockholm Effect. Imagine falling in love with the person holding a gun to your head. In 1973, a Swedish bank robbery went wrong, and hostages were trapped for 6 days. But when rescued, they defended their captors. Some even kept contact after prison. Psychologists called it Stockholm Syndrome, the mind reframing control as protection. It doesn't just happen in bank vaults. Victims of abuse, gangs, even corporations can develop the same bond. Fear makes loyalty feel like safety. But here's the haunting question: how much of your own loyalty is really choice? Chapter 6: The Crowd That Kills, Hillsborough. 96 people went to a football match and were crushed to death by human bodies. It was April 15, 1989 at Hillsborough Stadium. Fans packed into pens, and within minutes, panic spread. People were pressed so tightly they couldn't breathe. No weapons, no bombs, just a crowd turned lethal. Psychologists call it de-individuation, when identity dissolves and group panic overrides reason. One push becomes a chain reaction. One scream spreads like fire. The darkest truth about crowds: sometimes the danger isn't an enemy, it's us. Chapter 7: Gaslighting a Nation, North Korea. What if every book, every song, every TV channel was designed to brainwash you? That's North Korea. Children are raised to believe their leader is a god. History is rewritten, reality is censored, lies become the only truth available. This isn't just dictatorship, it's gaslighting on a national scale. Abusers use denial to make partners question reality. You're crazy. That never happened. Dictators do the same, but to millions at once. And when reality itself is controlled, obedience doesn't even feel like obedience anymore. It feels like truth. Chapter 8: The Dark Side of Charisma, Hitler's Rallies. One man hypnotized a nation and led them willingly into the deadliest war in history. In the 1930s, Adolf Hitler filled stadiums with fire and fury. His speeches weren't rational, they were emotional weapons. Rhythm, repetition, rage. Crowds didn't think, they felt, and they surrendered themselves to him. That's the dark side of charisma. It doesn't convince, it possesses. And once possessed, millions can march straight into destruction, believing it was their choice all along. From Salem to Abu Ghraib, from Jonestown to North Korea, the same patterns repeat: obedience, fear, charisma, suggestion. They turn ordinary people into torturers, cultists, or zealots. We all want to believe we'd resist, that we'd be different, but history shows the scariest truth of all: anyone can break. And the next chapter of dark psychology, it won't be written in the past, it will be written in us.